So
Oh
now
boy.
the, Hitler's generals, right? So
Hitler's
just for people that
generals.
don't know, there was a big article in the Atlantic this week by Jeffrey Goldberg that basically is a synopsis of all of the crazy, horrible stuff and things Trump has said or done to the military, to military families, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the takeaways from the article, one of the many takeaways, an article that, by the way, anybody that has family members who are voting for Trump should be
Yes.
made to read the article and
Yes.
comment on it after. But
Yeah.
anyway, one of the takeaways was that Trump kept complaining to General Kelly that he wants generals more like the ones that Hitler had.
Right.
Like Hitler had good generals, and I want, good generals. So, I mean, what? There's so much to dissect here. But when you heard that, when you saw that, what went through your mind first, other than, yeah, we've known about this a long time. This isn't news.
Well, I've known he was a Nazi-loving, Hitler admiring, admiring individual for quite a long time. I even okay, I'll just break it out. So going through Newark today, there is quite a good book, and I've talked about this, and it was one of the books that I used it for World Beneath, called Nazis in Newark. So there's a gentleman who put together and did so much research, the author, and put together like a little museum of everyone that was in the German-American Bund, that he could get his hands on, those registries, and Friends of New Germany, which preceded the Bund. This is the group, the German-American Bund, that did the Madison Square Garden rally.
Oh,
right. That we're about to,
yeah.
that on Sunday, Trump is about to repeat that right after these Hitler comments. But I bet you would find Fred Trump in that registry. I've always thought that. When Donald keeps talking about my good German blood, and he was talking about his good German blood, quote unquote, those are his words, in 1990s, late 80s, he's been talking about that. So that's coming from your parents.
Yeah.
That's coming from your parents. And that's at a time, I would think in the 80s, people weren't really it was sort of yeah, still, we were so close to the end of that war. Yeah. And the atrocities of Hitler. People weren't going, I'm German. It wasn't,
yeah,
hey,
right.
everybody.
That's a good point.
Right. So he was, right. He's been out and proud about this. And Hitler's speeches, which is a propaganda technique and a tool that assets are often given to, if you want to become somebody who's study this guy, study his wordplay. So it was no surprise to me that was the one book he had. So there's a lot swirling around all that. I think in the history of it, and we've been writing about it and talking about it for so long, what got me that was new for me with that article was, Kelly was really trying to get across that he doesn't know the history.
Yeah. Exactly.
He doesn't know the history of the generals. We knew that, but I hadn't thought about it that way yet. And it's
no, me neither. Yeah.
It's so what does he know? Why does he know this? What does he think his knowledge? Where is he getting his knowledge from? If he has absolutely nothing about it is learned. Right. Right?
Yeah.
It's coming from colloquialisms. It's coming from his dad too. A feeling about Hitler, an admiration of Hitler, right? It's a wish fulfillment for him. And based on not the actual knowledge, not the facts of the generals, right? But probably for somebody that saying that always was, well, you can't just say you were just following orders like Hitler's generals. I think it's the one thing that stuck with him. Oh, they were following orders. Well, what does that mean? They were just following orders. Hitler's generals were just following orders. The Nazis were just following orders. Right. They had to do whatever Hitler ordered them to do. That sounded great to him. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether that's factual and that we know he didn't get it from he didn't actually know history. He's getting it from colloquialisms, from just what's being said and whirling around in space, that is this vast criticism of evil. Yeah. He's hearing it going, That
sounds like
great.
a good deal.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
So that when actual facts came and actual knowledge and actual history was presented to him by John Kelly, who knew it, he didn't even know the names of the generals. He pushed back on John Kelly,
right?
Because that doesn't match with the colloquialisms that I've always heard of, like everybody was just following orders.